Oh, I love Drax. Right. YouTube's cooperating. OBS is cooperating.
Oh, that's right. It was the one where they're talking about Riker playing his trumpet.
Oh, there we are. I see us in our, I was going to say
I
bright,
see us
shining
too.
faces, but it's Wednesday.
Yeah. I was
Welcome to.
looking for today.
Yes.
I ruined that.
Ah. Thank you all for joining us. Good night.
Yeah.
Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 203, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Anchor.fm or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, usually some Star Trek. We read all super chats on the air so long as they won't permanently demonetize my channel. We do drink alcohol on the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat and we'll give some shout outs on the early goings. Pick yourself up a pint glass over at craftcomputing.store and drink like a pro. And last but not least, if you like the content you see on this channel and want to help support us in what I do, consider joining the Patreon or Float Plane. Links are down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server, the super secret chat during Talking Heads, and the even more super secret after party every night after Talking Heads. And that's about it.
That's about it. We even got a pre super chat.
Yeah.
Pre-show super chat. $5 Aussie dollars from
Kren.
Kren. I don't know why I said Serena. Pre-show super chat to save time later.
Thank you so much, Kren. Good to see you. How's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, I got a tickle. Oh, I could use a drink.
Yes. Yeah. Parched.
This parched. It's been 2 weeks since I've had a beer. Yeah, right.
Who's counting?
Yeah.
What
time are we thinking? How are you doing, Jeff?
Oh, I am. Today was one of those like super productive days, but one of those days where I'm absolutely exhausted. My office is an absolute disaster area right now. Like, I usually try to start Talking Heads with a clean desk, and it makes me feel a lot more comfortable. But when I've got, like, stuff, like, all around me, yeah, I get a little antsy and a little weird. And right now, it's like, I have my second monitor, but then I have, like, all of my tools from things that I've been doing the last 2 days. And I just haven't had time to clean them up yet. Not only that, but just before the show, I got rid of, like, 3 or 4 boxes and styrofoam and everything that was just piled up behind me. It's been a good day. It's been a productive day, but I'm ready for today to be over.
You would hate what I'm sitting in front of then, because literally I'm going to put it on the Discord so everyone that is part of the Discord could see it. But where I am sitting is exactly what Jeff's nightmares probably are.
Right.
Bunch of boxes, stuff's cluttered everywhere, and it's all like girly decorative stuff.
Oh, that's right. You had to empty the shed since you're getting the she shed on a moving truck.
No. This is regular inventory. She shed's full too.
Oh.
This is ramping up. So this is part of the fall season. And then Christmas it gets even worse.
Yeah.
So fall and
your trees aren't up yet? TikTok.
Well, because we're moving.
TikTok, Mrs. Hops. Come on.
Oh, she already sat there like, oh, we got to get 2 more trees because one's going to go here, one's going to go here.
We've got so much more space for activities now.
I know. That's what it is. I'm just like, I know my new studio is going to somehow turn into her storage area again.
Just put a lock on the door. You know what? We can probably do some biometrics for you.
Facial recognition.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. Do an access control system for the man cave.
That would be fun. You got to do a breathalyzer. All right. How many IPAs have you had? You can come in. Okay.
There's not nearly enough hops on your breath.
Yeah. You're not John. Pumpkin spice? That's a toss-up.
Yeah. No, there's a little hint of pickle in the back. That's John. Another super chat from Ryan, $10. Thank you so much, Ryan. So apparently Synology brand memory is obscenely expensive, like $100 for 4 gigs, because I am extra petty. I added 4 gigs to my Proxmox Synology VM for literally no reason, because screw you, Synology. I do things like that all the time because I am extremely petty, and I'm also anti-competitive and anti-repair. Like, I'm completely against anti-repair. I think I've told a story about a Cisco power supply blowing up on us, and me, out of spite, finding the original OEM in China, like, and ordering one direct from the shop that they got them from. So it was a Cisco 5512. It was an ASA firewall combo unit, desktop hardware in a 1U server, and ATX power supply. But it's a 1U form factor, and it's a proprietary cabling that they used, or proprietary mounting points. So it wasn't an off-the-shelf power supply. I found the OEM who makes that power supply, who makes it for like 3 or 4 other chassis. And Cisco, first off, quoted me $400 for the power supply, and then said, "Oh, but you need an active contract for someone to come out and install it." And I said, No. I just send me the power supply. I'll plug it in. No. You have to have an active Cisco contract to buy Cisco parts, and then only Cisco authorized repair personnel can install it for you." And I said, "Well, F that." And tracked down the power supply, make, model, everything, got an OEM new one in. I think I spent $22.
There you go.
So yes, I'm extremely petty. and what's really funny is we had already replaced the hardware at that point because we were so frustrated with that box. It's like, you know what? It's already dead. It's on life support because I've got it sitting open with an ATX power supply, keeping it running anyway. Let's just get a different unit in here. And so we had already like kicked Cisco to the curb, but I was so petty, I went out and bought a power supply anyway. Speaking of parched,
yes,
let's get this show started. John, what are you drinking tonight, my friend?
I am going to be having a collaboration between Stone and Oregon's very own Deschutes Brewery. Let's Be Homies, a honey hazy IPA.
Honey hazy.
Yes, a honey hazy. A Oregon. Well, they say it's blackberry, but we all know from Oregon it's Marionberry. Yeah. So Oregon Marionberry honey and California orange blossom honey. So they pollinated together. That's how they claim it.
Nice.
So we're gonna see.
Start off tonight. I am going with Hunton and Smith Brewing Company, and they are out of somewhere. I can't read the can because the lighting is really weird behind me. Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is the Igneous IPA. Our dry hopped India Pale Ale will blast you with a powerful flavor of citrus and pine. So it says that right on the front, and that's,
you'll see.
And that's coming from Tennessee to someone in Oregon. So let's see if those claims hold up, shall we?
Yeah, those are tough claims.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times when anything on the East Coast or close to that
big,
side,
bold citrus hop forward.
I know, big, but we're the West Coast. This is the best West Coast IPA you'll ever have to drink. It like, I have pale ales that are hoppier than this.
I've made pale ales that are hoppier. 7.2%. So
nice. It's bigger than mine. Oh no, mine's 7.5. I thought mine was 6.9. This is very sweet. Like kind of almost a little too sweet.
They say citrus, I say lavender.
It's
very flowery.
Yeah.
Very, very flowery.
The East Coast, the East Side seems to do that a lot when they say citrusy.
Citrus bomb or what? Yeah.
Yeah. It's more flowery. I get a lot more drying characteristics. I don't know if the hops are older. I don't know if it just the beer gets staler because it's probably been sitting for a long time and someone grabbed it, then finally shipped it over here. Don't know. There are a couple of shout outs for beers that are going on.
Yes.
Let's see. There was Alice is having a Sam Adams 76.
Nice.
Sam 76. Let's see. Craig is having a Coke Zero. We got Joshua's having a Dogfish 90-minute, very good one.
That's a fantastic
90
beer.
minutes of good beer.
LTD Brewing. I got LTD Brewing Night Terror Rum Barrel Aged Double Chocolate Milk Stout. That's from William. John Jay is finishing up a Modest Brewing triple IPA before Novella Hub and I crack open some worldwide stouts.
Yes, that is what I got. Novella Hub is opening up an oak-aged vanilla worldwide stout.
That's a good one. I've had that one. John hasn't.
I have not had that one. No, I've had the regular worldwide stout. I think I've had oak-aged and regular, but I don't think I've had vanilla.
Yeah, I've had the oaked. I've had the oaked vanilla. I've had the regular. They're all good.
So. And the ordinary, dude, I am not having any more great pickle beer.
Craig wants to know what's wrong with plain old beer. I think it's a good question.
Plain old beer.
I'm assuming he means plain
like
old
domestic?
beer. Lager.
I mean,
lager, American Pilsner.
I guess
your domestics.
Nothing. It depends. Yeah, with the domestic, well, there's lack of flavor for one, body quality. Honestly, I guess if you get into a kick, in a pinch, I guess it can do, sure. But it's like having a filet mignon steak all the time, and this is delicious, and then you go to you ever go to like a dollar store and get a steak? Let's
put it this way. Craft beer can go from freaking amazing to honestly worse than domestics if you get the wrong one. True. Jury is still out on this one. But when you find a style of beer that you really like, that is big, bold, flavorful, expressive, playful, whatever adjectives you want to throw onto it, and whatever suits your taste, it's like eating at like a Brazilian steakhouse, where it's a lot more money, but you pay $50 at the door, and then the chefs walk around with skewers of meat and say, "This is lamb. Do you want, rare, medium, well done?" And you say, "Oh, I'll take a medium, please." And they huck you off a little bit of that skewer, and then they walk around, and then the next guy walks up and says, "Oh, this is T-bone, and this is this," and all the different cuts of meat from like every different animal. But then your family comes into town, and you go to a Denny's. Yes. And you order the $5 steak and eggs breakfast. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is so on a different level. Yeah,
you're like, okay, I'm getting a T-bone with this steak and egg.
I'm getting a 6-ounce porter, or I'm getting a yeah.
It's just not the same. Mm-hmm. It's they're both beef. They're both cow and in the same technical cut, but it's just the quality is different. The way it was prepped is different. Stored, it was different. That term, love was put into this.
I've also had terrible prime rib. So, it's like, it still has to be done right, but there's so much more potential in it than going to Denny's. There you go.
That's the difference. That's what's wrong with, could be wrong with normal beer.
Yeah.
Standard beer. Andrew has a super chat.
Oh, how did I miss that? Oh, yeah, I saw. Okay. I saw it and then it just like immediately left my brain. My bad, Andrew. Andrew sends over $5. Thank you, sir. Hunanji, F8D Dual 2011 V3 hit customs. Drink is a Golden State cider, mellow green West Coast apples with champagne yeast and Columbus hops at 6.5%.
Jeez.
That's a lot of words in a cider.
I know.
No, that's awesome. So I have Money Hunan? Mine might be a Jingsha. I've also got an X99 dual socket Chinese motherboard waiting in the wings for a project as soon as I finish the project that I'm working on, like literally today. So that's going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
You were saying something about your beer.
Yes. Our dry hopped IPA will blast you with a powerful flavor of citrus and pine. Hold on. I'm not dead yet. Like I said, the primary flavor that I get out of this is like lavender. It's flower. It's very, very floral, which is not necessarily a terrible hop profile. But this is not grapefruit or mandarin orange or pineapple or citrus. There's no citrus in here at all. There's also no pine in here at all. I have no idea why they wrote that on the can. When, like, if you would explain this as like a floral forward IPA, yeah, sure. You know, or intense dry hopped IPA, like, yeah, it's very drying, it's very oily, very coating. Definitely more in the ilk of a West Coast IPA than an East Coast IPA. But remember all those Kansas IPAs that I had?
Yeah.
There's something in the water. Where it's very earthy. It's a very clay dust type flavor to it. So if it's not citrusy, don't say citrusy. It should be as simple as that.
I know people's. I don't know. Maybe over in Tennessee, the lemons and limes or whatever just taste different.
Well, I know they have a lot further to go to get there, but PC Tech Hustle dropping by $10, just dropping by to say hey. Cheers. Thank you, man. Jeremy sends over $5. What are your thoughts on Lisa Su joining Joe Biden's Council of Advisors for Science and Technology? Why would I be opposed to that or have any thoughts? Is she qualified? You're God right, she's qualified. Yeah, no problem with it at all. Not that you imply anything negative by that comment, but yeah, absolutely she's qualified. She's certainly more qualified than I am. So why not? Alice sends over $5. BMCs are made with tremendous technical skill, being the hardest type of beer to make, but are designed to offend no one and thus lacked character.
Trust me, they are offensive to craft beer drinkers.
They can be. Yeah, no, they're... I'm not going to get into it right now. I could go on and on about domestic quality. I'm not going to do it. We're not going to be that show tonight. We're going to be a positive show tonight. Even though
if you want to chat, you can always come chat with me either on the Discord or Twitter.
Oh, hit us up.
I will have that discussion with you.
Hit us up in the after party. I'll talk domestic beer.
Yeah, we'll talk domestic beers. Come join us there. We have a plethora of opinions and facts to go behind it.
Yes. Does cereal with oat milk count as a drink? I guess so. I like overpouring my milk so I can drink the sugary syrupy milk when it's done at the bottom. Or this will change this will blow your mind and change your life forever. So Honey Bunches of Oats is like a go-to for me. Coconut milk.
That's what you were telling me that.
Oh God.
I still have to try that.
Also, shredded wheat, frosted wheat is also fantastic with coconut milk.
I have to try that. So we pretty much stopped buying cereal.
Yeah.
Even my son basically only likes the marshmallows. So I was like, yeah, we're just gonna take that sugar aspect away, especially after we had to take him to the dentist. They're like, wow, this kid's got really sensitive teeth to sugar. So like all cereal is gone out of our house.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and jump into today's news. Starting with, remember how I was saying I was anti repair and, anti competition and all the other fun adjectives that I hate about, like, what Apple has become over the last 15 years and whatnot. iPhone 13 Face ID won't work if the screen is broken and repaired by non-Apple support. I'm not sure why this is just popping up now, because this has been an issue dating all the way back to the iPhone 6S. Yeah. Maybe even the iPhone 6, with the introduction of Apple's encryption chip, because not only is your software and data encrypted on Apple devices, specifically Apple handhelds, not only is it encrypted on the device, but the hardware on the devices that deal with security also have a dual handshake authentication with the other hardware inside that device that can only be established by Apple certified repair, which is 100% in-house Apple, because they don't certify anyone else. So you need Apple's secret sauce, or in this case, their TLS key, to authenticate a new Face ID module with Apple's T2 or T3 or whatever their authentication chip is now. Yeah. This has been happening all the way since touch disease on the iPhone 6, and people would go to replace their screens, and all of a sudden Touch ID wouldn't work because the Touch ID sensor went with the screen, and because you replaced the component, it no longer works. Now you can still unlock your phone and type in the password and so on and so forth.
But that cool feature is gone.
But that cool feature no longer works.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was just curious if, because of this, because we were talking about there was the right to repair lawsuit, or the president is putting that and fighting against that. There's the lawsuits that are going on. His name is escaping me, and I know you're going to know it. What's his YouTube channel?
Louis Rossman.
Louis Ross. Yeah, thank you. His work, and then also there was the recent news of, we talked about this, the iPhone last time I was on. Basically, that you have to get, for the camera, you have to get the higher storage capacity one. Yeah. It just seems that Apple's being hit more and more and more, and people are becoming more aware of this. Like you said, it's been an issue for a long time, but I think not as many people really cared about it. But it's, once you start stacking things up, now everyone, more and more people start being more aware of it. Yeah. And especially now with the latest one, and Apple being saying, check out our latest iPhone. And then everyone's already saying, yeah, if I try to do anything to it, I have to go through you, and you guys are expensive, and the prices are just getting worse. So, we knew it. Everyone else probably that watches this channel pretty much already knew it, but so it's just interesting to see how these articles now are popping up more and more and more.
Yeah. I mean, this article comes out every single time a new iPhone comes out, which is why I was like, why are we just talking about this? Like, this was a thing on the iPhone X or iPhone 10 or whatever. Apple likes to interchange X and 10, like, just depending on which way the wind's blowing. Yeah, this has been an issue with Apple's encryption chip since they introduced the encryption chip, and nothing has changed on that. So, yeah. Let's see.
Andrew gives a $5 super chat.
Yep, Andrew, $5. Thoughts on Linus investing in Framework? Tell you what, give me 20 seconds, because I had another comment I wanted to respond to first, and then we'll jump into yours.
Oh, I didn't see those.
No, someone had mentioned they're a FedEx driver and wanted to know my thoughts right now.
Oh, you poked the beast.
I did. So honestly, this is kind of a slow news week. There hasn't been a lot to talk about. I mean, there's a couple like fluff stories, a couple like, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, this would normally be like a filler piece for us, but it ends up being a top story.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else on. But so I've been having, and I've recently just decided I'm just going to name and shame. And no offense to the fine employees of FedEx. I have a problem right now with FedEx as a whole. So know that I am not speaking to you, the individual drivers. I understand it's not your fault. It's practically never your fault. So be that as it is. That being said, so I think at most recent count in the last 30 days, FedEx is 1 for 13 for delivering on time. And when I say on time, I mean not even like I ordered 2 day and it's 4 days later, what the heck? I mean when the tracking is entered into the system and FedEx has already taken receipt of the shipment and they give you the estimated delivery date. I'm talking that date where this will show up Monday, September 22nd. And then it doesn't. Like, you knew when you took receipt of that item what your current logistics were looking like, what your freight was looking like, what your schedules were looking like, how backed up things were, and you're still over-promising and under-delivering. And if you would just be honest and say, you know what, we're so backed up, the shipment that shipped like last Monday isn't going to get to you for 9 days. I'm okay with that because then I'm not scheduling my week and my work around items that I'm expecting to have on hand at a certain date. And so I've had to flex my schedule so many times in the last month because it's like, oh, I have this part coming in on Thursday, so on Friday, I'm going to start testing that, and on Saturday, I can do that shoot. Well, then the part doesn't show up on Thursday. It doesn't show up till Monday, which means I now have to pivot to content that I wasn't prepped and ready to do yet. And it puts actually kind of a huge burden on my production schedule because I'm not one who has like 10 videos bankrolled. I do videos literally in the order that I do them. And I usually work on 1, maybe 2 video projects at a time. But when I go deep into a video, I spend 2 days straight working, scripting, troubleshooting, etc. on a video, and then film it, and then we edit it and post it. And that's just how my workflow works. And so...
And it's super annoying to just stop in the middle and be like, I need that part.
Right. And I live in Oregon. I can't get crap locally. There is nothing. This is a tech graveyard where I live. There are no shops that carry anything of merit. Fry's 8 years ago, maybe I could get some of the parts that I need for like server stuff. But that was 8 years ago. But the most recent issue with FedEx is, and Andrew, I'm coming back, don't worry. The most recent issue with FedEx was I ordered an HBA for my cloud gaming server to run all 12 of my my SSDs on. So I ordered a 16-port HBA that should be able to do full bandwidth on all the drives all the time, which I didn't have one of those on hand to begin with. So ordered the part, and it said it'll be here Wednesday the 22nd. Cool. I'll schedule my testing for Thursday for getting the new RAID set up and maybe setting it up in L2 Arc and things. So I'm prepping leading up to that day, and then Wednesday comes and goes, and I don't even get a notification that it's going to be late. In fact, on Thursday, it still said estimated delivery date of Wednesday. They hadn't even updated that much yet. Thursday, like midday, it goes, oh, don't worry, it's out. It's we'll have it delivered later today. Didn't say out for delivery. It still said Troutdale. It said, no, we'll get it to you later today. And I'm like, doubt. Because it hadn't left Troutdale, and it had been sitting in Troutdale for 3 days already on Wednesday. Yeah. Fast forward, every 12 hours, it has another scan between 8 and 8:15 a.m. and p.m. both. In transit, Troutdale, Oregon. In transit, Troutdale, Oregon. In transit, Troutdale, Oregon. Okay, so either someone is coming by and meticulously scanning my package every 12 hours, or it's not being scanned and it's lost to the system. I'm guessing the latter. Finally, Tuesday night, notably after I put FedEx on blast on Twitter because I've been so frustrated with them, suddenly my package goes, hey, out for expected delivery Wednesday the 29th, which from Thursday until Tuesday, it just said pending and would update, yeah, I'm still on Troutdale. Went to pending went to delivery on Wednesday, Tuesday night. So, cool. So maybe I can do that tomorrow. 12:06 today, 12:06 p.m. I get a notification from FedEx because I've been waiting for this package and I have text notifications on. Your package has been delivered. Not only delivered, it was signed for and left at the reception counter of your P.O. Box provider. Sweet. So I go run a couple errands. I wasn't quite ready to leave my house and run errands, but I got a package waiting for me. I've been needing that, so I'm going to go pick that up and come back. I swing by and I open my box and there's no slip in the box saying I have a package, and I'm like, no, maybe they forgot. And so I walk up to the counter and I said, hey, this showed up about an hour ago. Do you guys have it? And they said, FedEx hasn't been here yet. And I went, what? And they went, yeah, we haven't received a FedEx shipment yet today. And this is like an hour later. And I said, well, why does FedEx say that it was signed by you and left with the receptionist? They went, nope. No.
We weren't even open yet an hour ago.
They were open, but...
but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right, but I know the owner quite well, and she knows me quite well. She knows my name. She knows the packages that I receive. And she's like, yeah, no, FedEx has not been here. And I went, well... And of course, FedEx's response is, well, maybe they delivered it to like a neighboring business. Have you checked with them? And I went, what?
Why? Yeah, it's a P.O. box.
It's a P.O. box. And by the way, if you're referring to the name of my P.O. box company, then yes, I checked with them. I spoke with like 3 of the employees there who were looking for my package that was not there and certainly was not signed for. So why does my delivery notification says signed and delivered and dropped off? That's a problem. Yeah, so I am very frustrated with FedEx right now.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of that stuff happens to, I wouldn't say me, but my wife too, because a lot of her stuff is shipped in inventory. And very similar to you, it's, okay, I need this. I'm going to be doing a video or shoot with these items. I need them now, or I promised someone these items would be shipped out to them in a week, and FedEx didn't deliver. A lot, again, too, Troutdale. Yep. But then sometimes she'll even get in with the Troutdale, then to Seattle, then back to Troutdale. And it's like, wait, why did you do that?
In the time my package spent in Troutdale, I could have ridden my bike there and back twice.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it was actually, I think it was recently, I think it was last week, an item was in Lake Oswego. And I was like, oh, great. You know what? I'll go pick it up. Yeah. Because my office is like 5 minutes from there. I'll just drive over them to no, you can't do that. Like, why not? You just can't. Why?
Yep.
And so at least I kind of, I do like the Amazon of like, hey, here's a picture that we delivered it.
Right.
Great. I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
And if you get the right delivery guy who cares and kind of hides it and everything like that. So that's nice. But yeah, FedEx, not so much.
Yeah.
I do know my brother actually used to work for FedEx up in Portland. And the way they do their deliveries is there's no actual FedEx employees, is when they outsource little local shipping companies and give them FedEx, or contract them and give them FedEx trucks.
Yeah, that is actually very typical, especially in holiday time, that happens. So yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and pivot back to some tech-related news. Andrew with the $5 question: thoughts on Linus investing in Framework? I think I said this on Twitter, if not on YouTube. I don't remember where I commented on it. But I said, if I was in the same position, I would have done the exact same thing. I I don't have $250,000 in scratch laying around. I mean, shocking, right?
It goes to beer, duh.
Right. There's other things I'd rather spend my money on. No. But
these are my liquid assets.
No, Framework is a company that has, we'll just say, identical core ideals. It's repairability. It's consumers first. It's anti-competition, anti-repair. You should be able to own your own hardware. And not only that, there is no reason in the world why a fully repairable laptop can't look like a MacBook Pro. And that's pretty much the first laptop that Framework delivered. They went, it's the same thickness. It's the same screen resolution. It's the same physical dimensions. Actually, it has a little bit of a taper reminiscent of a MacBook Air. But it has a full-fat Core i7, and they're working on getting AMD. You can add your own memory. You can add your own socketed NVMe drive. The battery's replaceable, and it's like 6 screws to get into. Meanwhile, you've got proprietary pentalobe screwdrivers holding a MacBook Pro closed. You've got glued-in batteries, and you've got everything else soldered to the board, which means if your SSD dies or a RAM module kicks the bucket, guess what? You have a $1,500 brick now. And that's just not acceptable. I mean, I've said this quite a few times. My M1 MacBook Pro is hands down the best laptop I've ever owned. But it's in spite of not being repairable. And there's no reason it shouldn't be repairable. There's no reason me, with the skills that I have, with a screwdriver, should not be able to open my laptop.
Well, it's the exact same thing like we've always talked about. If I'm a mechanic and I own a car, I should be able to work on that car.
I made a dual GPU heatsink today. Oh, and by the way, there's a custom piece coming for the middle too. But I made custom aluminum brackets for the underside of this. This isn't zip tied. So there is no reason in the world I can't work on my own laptop. And I don't even care if I'm not that skilled. There's should be nothing stopping me from grabbing a screwdriver and opening up my own equipment.
Well, that's how a lot of people learn that way, just tinkering with, devices. And you pick up an older device and you tinker with it. I mean, that's, from now, if you get a brand new laptop like the Framework ones, in 10 years from now, like your kids or my kids or Steve's kids or Rhett's kids, if we had one of these and obviously 10, 15 years from now, they're teenagers now and they're like, you want something to tinker with? Here, tinker with this. They can learn the ins and outs very easily.
Boy, thanks for that kick in the nuts dose of reality that my daughter is going to be a teenager in 4 years.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. I'm okay.
You thought you were spending a lot on beer now. Just wait till she does that and she's like, Dad, I want these cool clothes. I want all of this cool stuff now.
Yeah.
And then the worst part is, hey, that boy's cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's going to be like, yeah, computers are dumb.
No, your dad's pretty cool. I wish I could drink beer and build computers for a living.
Yeah, I know. Can you give me a job?
No.
Why?
Speaking of craft beers that, it would be unfair of me to say this was a bad one. It would be perfectly fair to say this is not the beer they advertised on the can. And especially me and Steve, we will judge almost exclusively based on what did the brewer say this beer should taste like.
I got Steve to break that rule.
Oh, did you?
So the
next video that's pretty rare.
The next video that comes out, because we did all of those weird ones.
I saw the Great Pickle beer.
Yeah. So we do a couple more. The next one that comes out, he's like, This is the truest. If someone was going to say this is the style and the description, this I can't think of a better thing, taste of a beer.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. And I'm not going to rate it high. I was like, behind the scenes, I was arguing with him. I was like, what are you talking about? That's the whole thing you and Jeff talk about all the time. It's like, is it true to its flavor? And you have to give it props.
No. Here's the thing. If it's not true to its flavor, it automatically gets marked down. If what the can says is not the beer that I drank, this is a dry hopped IPA that will blast you with a powerful flavor of citrus and pine. There was no citrus. There was no pine. It was a half decent IPA, but you're starting at a 3.25 and working your way down if the beer is worse than that. Not, oh, it's still a good beer, I'm still going to rate it a 4.0.
Yeah.
Because that's not what this says.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but
he didn't even break the...
But hold on. Even if this is accurate, if this is citrus and pine, but it tastes like dog shit, then I'm still rating it low. So... It's just, there's a handicap inherent to my rating system.
No, we both agreed it was a good beer, and it tasted exactly like the description, and we were just like, but it's just, wow, it's intense.
Yeah.
And but so then he didn't even break the plane of 3 on it, and that's where I got him on it. I was like, you can't say that. It's got to be at least like a 3.25, 3.5 then, because we gave this nothing but compliments, but just saying, I can't take it. That was the only downside to it. It's like I don't like this particular personal flavor, but it is exactly like it states it's going to taste.
John J says strawberry time. He wants me to crack my strawberry ale from Trinity, which by the way was like a 12.5 strawberry ale. Like, holy crap. I don't think I can tonight, unfortunately.
I mean, mine would have eventually been at 12.5.
Yeah. Because I have another beer here that I've been really wanting to try for a while. I've had it for a couple of months. So, John, I'm going to put this up to you. Do I go with the 6.4% IPA, which I've already kind of been let down by a 6 or 7% IPA, or do I go with the Imperial Stout with maple, coffee, and coconut?
Ooh. Well, how big an ounce count we talking about? The 12 or the maple? The
maple, it's a pint. Yeah. It's a full pint, 9%. So it's not a real heavy Imperial. No,
but go ahead. I'd go with that one because by the time we're done, you'll have a nice one, and then you could probably get through it and maybe not have a drink, and then save the last one for the after party.
John says, but it's a Belgian. Which, by the way, I am totally conflicted right now. Because, in the one hand, I kind of want to share that Belgian beer with you that I had the other day. Did you watch that video?
I did. I saw it. Yeah, you were talking about the esters and everything like that.
Oh my
God. It sounded great.
That is...
You said it was one of the best Belgians you've ever had.
No, I said it is the best.
Oh, okay.
Not one of. It is the best Belgian beer I've ever had. I'm putting it above Amade Secret.
Really?
Yeah, I'm putting
That's what I was gonna.
I'm putting it above Belgian Underground.
Wow.
I'm putting it above Benedictine. Both. Like, this is the Belgian to have. So, on one hand, I kind of want to share that with you because I think you would really, really appreciate this. In the other hand, I know I would really appreciate it.
You already had one.
I know. So I have it in my fridge. If I see you before I open it, we can open it together.
All right, we can do that. There we go.
There you go.
Like a flip of a coin.
Yeah. So that being said, I'm going to crack open my second beer, which is Great Notion Brewing up here in Portland, Oregon. Stacks of Coconut.
Ooh, I have not had that one.
I didn't think you had.
Nope, I have not had that one. I've had double stack, single stack. Yep. I think there's even a triple.
Yeah, this is based off the. Oh my god, that tastes like maple syrup.
They do a really. The double stack is
I've had the double stack
quintessential
before, but
rectal
it still catches you off guard.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It is if you want to know
Hold on,
what
I gotta
pancakes
show.
taste like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not the darkest beer in the world. There's some there's some light poking through the stream at least.
Yeah, but there's like absolutely almost no head.
There's no head. No head at all. But it is carbonated. It is very carbonated.
Yes, I would probably equate the lack of head though to maybe the adjuncts that probably in there.
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't know for a fact, but I have a very, very good inclination that's not natural brewer's flavor that there's a grain that tastes like maple.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's either aged with maple syrup or they're doing something funky with something else.
Yeah. Exactly. And
there's no maple malt.
Yes, exactly. And usually when you do that you can tell by the lack of head and that there's something else there stopping that from happening or dissipates very, very fast.
Hey, John?
There's a smile on his face.
John? Darby Coconut.
There's like more than Pirate Stout?
Yes.
Maple and coconut does sound delicious.
God, that is such a good blend. And it keeps shifting one way and the other. It keeps going like maple syrup, coconut, maple syrup, coconut. Yeah. Ooh, coffee roast, maple syrup, coconut. It just keeps moving. Oh, those are three very distinctly different flavors. And yet they all exist at the same time, at the same place. And I love them all.
Yeah, I got to get my hands on that one. I'm going to keep an eye out for that one.
Oh, that is just... Oh, that is so good.
Although, did you see what I got today? That Firestone I picked up today?
I did. The... the Kentucky Mule.
Yeah, Kentucky Mule. So I got that today. Yep. Did you ever? I gave you the other the mezcals and
yes, I got the mezcal and was it a parabola? What was the other one?
No, it was two cocktail based ones.
Okay.
I forget.
Better not have been the Manhattan.
No, it was not the Manhattan. Although again, I forgot who it was here. They said they had it and it was very good. I don't know.
No, like I said,
that was.
But we were batting 50% on that one. I don't know what the heck was up with that one.
I am so upset too. I was going to get my hands on a collection of Firestone Walker. Basically, it was almost like $500 worth of Firestone Walker. The guy was going to sell for $200.
Yeah, he
backed out.
Oh,
like the day of. It was just like, I sold it to a friend of mine instead, and he like lives next door to me. I was like, he made a deal.
Yeah.
I obviously wasn't going to pay him up in front, but like we already made an appointment where to meet.
Yep.
And everything was like, and then you had stuff to complete certain bridges that I needed to have for anniversary beer and older beers. We had four or five parabolas, so there's extra ones in there of old like 2015 and 15.
Yeah.
There was four of them, so it's like
the 14 is where I fell in love with parabola.
Yeah, so you could have them and still have three extra to be like, yeah. I was very livid that day.
Yeah. Understandably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Skull is waiting for you to open your next beer if you are so inclined.
I'm still drinking.
Okay.
So
well, we can wait.
I figured I will. I'm pretty used to drinking my pint an hour.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, in that case, we might as well jump into the sponsor spot, because today's video is brought to you by Linode. If you've ever needed to host your own servers, whether it be for home or business use, but don't have the resources, time, or hardware, power, cooling, and even space requirements, why not let Linode host them for you? If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. That includes the software for most of the tutorials I have on my channel, like how to run your own ad-blocking recursive DNS server, VPN gateways, your own cloud-based Plex server, and more. Linode also has a litany of one-click installs for common applications. They make it simple to deploy and manage your own cloud services, with solutions ranging from a single shared CPU to massive multi-core virtual machines. They even offer dedicated RTX 6000 GPUs for graphic rendering or machine learning. With shared CPU plans starting at as little as $5 per month and scaling up to as high as you need to go, you'll be able to find a hosting plan that fits your needs. Even if you do host your own servers, you can use Linode to keep a backup off-site. Because remember, RAID is not a backup. Visit linode.com/craftcomputing and get a $100 60-day credit when starting a new account. That's linode.com/craftcomputing, and thanks again to Linode for sponsoring today's episode.
Well, I couldn't wait. So I just finished it. I was like, this is the perfect time to chug a beer.
Yeah, there you go. I don't have to talk here.
Basically. And it gave me time to switch up what I was going to have. I'm still going to have an IPA.
Okay. I saw that can. I saw a flash of it in the corner of the camera.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
I've never actually had this brewery before. Excuse me. Abomination Brewing out of North Haven, Connecticut. It is Forbidden Pumpkin, a imperial milkshake style IPA with pumpkin. So,
John, it's still September. What are you doing?
I gotta get them out, Jeff.
Turn back, man. Turn back. Oh God, it looks like pumpkin.
Give it some head. I don't smell any pumpkin, but yes, it kind of has.
It's that color orange. It's that.
Yes, it is.
Deep,
it does.
Yeah.
Even the head kind of has a tint of orange, even more so than like a big double triple IPA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually not bad. I wouldn't call it an IPA. It's very sweet because of the milkshake style, but think of it's actually more like a vanilla milkshake with pumpkin spice. It's actually not bad.
Kind of surprising, actually.
It really is. Yeah. So brewed with pumpkin, spices, vanilla, and milk sugar.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Something my wife would probably actually like.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy with this. I'll go with that.
Right.
What else we got?
What else we got? We have some leaks of some Intel Alder Lake performance. This is their all-new 12th series core CPUs. Let's see here. So this is according to Tech Radar that the i9-12900 has appeared in some benchmarks, or what they posit will be the 12900. So it's the non-K model, which has a TDP of 65 watts compared to the i9-12900K's 125 watts. Scored a 114% overall. And that is in user benchmark. So single threaded score of 214 and a 2510 for multi-threaded. Yeah. So apparently it beats a 5900X. 5900X scoring a 160 and a 2349 respectively. But we've kind of heard that before. Didn't we hear that with 11th gen, and then it was kind of like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, and this article claims it was even put on cheaper lower end stuff with a lower end display. I don't know, and then there's a so-called picture that might be released. Here's what it looks like, and it's just some Chinese Twitter account. Yeah. Don't know. Again, slow news week, so we're.
Yep. We already pretty much knew what the LGA 1700 socket was going to look like. It's just now we got to look at the slightly oblong chip and the back of the chip. So there's that. But yeah, this was running on an Asus ROG Maximus Z690 Extreme motherboard with a single module of DDR5 memory plugged in. So who knows if dual core will make a difference or not with this particular test. Usually for user benchmark and even things like Cinebench, single versus multi-threaded doesn't make a huge difference. Not as big as Reddit would leave you to believe. But yeah, remember AMD is still coming out with Zen 4, likely also to be DDR5 bound sometime in 2022. So maybe it'll be a good time to build a new computer if we can ever get graphics cards again. Or maybe it's just time to upgrade your CPU and motherboard.
And spend that cash.
Remember as like gamers when we used to TikTok? You know, like Intel used to TikTok, and so you would like buy a motherboard and CPU, and then like 2 years later you'd buy a graphics card, and then 2 years later you'd buy another motherboard and CPU because it made sense to upgrade your CPU. Remember when that was a thing, right?
When you said TikTok, I
back in my day,
whole other way. You're like,
yeah, no,
I don't remember Intel being on.
No, Intel's TikTok. TikTok
Okay.
Release schedule where they did die shrink and then enhancement and then die shrink and then enhancement. It was their TikTok release
all
schedule.
I just pictured was all the Intel developers like doing like twerk dancing short videos and stuff like that. Like that'd be a weird TikTok, Jeff. I didn't know you had that account. Okay, that's cool.
David would like to know if we like coffee beer. I am drinking one right now.
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
it's
God.
It's like a quintessential stout flavor.
Yes. When I have a morning Zoom meeting, employed or otherwise.
Yes, this is a cold brew coffee. I swear.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very thick.
It's a caramel macchiato. That's what the head is from.
Yes, exactly. I whipped it up myself. And actually, a lot of times you can even get coffee flavors without having coffee in it.
That's right. You can get that from the roastiness or a barrel age or
Yep.
Yeah, even certain malts will deliver that for you. So good stuff, good stuff. Yes, I love coffee. I love stouts. I love coffee stouts. Good morning. It's 6 a.m. somewhere in Africa. You know I've had some South African people tune in occasionally. I don't know that I've ever had someone just say somewhere in Africa. So that is cool. That's another pin on my map.
Although, where are you going to stick that pin? Just like Africa.
At this point, I'll just throw a dart and see where it lands. Because, yeah, like the one viewer in North Korea, just like.
I got North Korea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, glorious leader loves my podcast.
Probably the only one with the internet.
Probably true. Some Raspberry Pi news. We've got some Raspberry Pi news this week.
I do like my Raspberry Pis.
Yes, I have.
And I like the company too.
I have a good number of them. Eben Upton, you know, the good Eben Upton, not the Elon Musk. Like similar names, but no, Eben Upton, founder of the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Raspberry Pi Foundation has received a lump sum of $45 million in grants to continue developing low-cost, high-availability hardware. This is fantastic. This is fantastic news for people who have been a fan of this style hardware. I love the Raspberry Pis. I have bought literally every single model since they've came out. And not just like one or two, but like multiples of. So yeah, this is awesome news that they can continue developing. They can continue basically working as a nonprofit, where they no longer have, they don't have to reach out for development funds anymore. They go, yeah, we got $45 million in development funds, so we can actually start steamrolling this thing instead of relying on sales, although sales have carried them thus far.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's an awesome price point. I mean, even the latest ones have been awesome price points.
Yeah.
Um, especially with the arms race and everything like that. And it's
arm race.
yeah, I got it. But no, the latest with the fours were just phenomenal. I remember when one came out, I was like, it's cool. It's a little pocket computer the size of a credit card.
Something better than an Arduino, but falls well short of a PC. Like I get it.
When two came out,
two was amazing.
That was an amazing game changer.
Yep.
Of just the power within the size of something that's a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And you stack a couple of these up. You have a server. You can take one of them. You have this gaming rig that used to take you a whole old PC to build. You could have the retro gaming stuff. 3, yeah.
It was all right. We got Bluetooth, right. We got Wi-Fi integrated. Yeah. A little bit of step up in performance, but not huge. The Pi 4 is freaking incredible, though.
The Pi 4 is going to a smartphone essentially.
Right.
Yeah. It's an amazing jump and accomplishment. And there were, even if you get the big boy one, that thing's awesome.
Yeah. I've got basically 2 of each. I don't have any 1 gig Pi 4s, but I've got 2 2s, 2 4s, and 2 8s. In fact, one of my 8 gigabyte units is running Octoprint for my Prusa Mark IIIs.
Oh yeah, nice. I even pushed to switch a lot of our low end desktops to be all Pi, all Raspberry Pis, just because we only needed web browsing capability, and it was like, look, these things are $100 a piece. You're not going to lose anything, and it just needs to open up 4 or 5 internet tabs at a time. That is it. We just need you get this and a monitor, $50 monitor. That the cheapest monitor you need, $150 versus these $500 pre-built PCs that we're constantly having to buy because either they don't have the proper performance or network capability, or we have, for my particular company, there's this turnaround, and where a lot of stuff we do is laptop based.
Yeah.
And salesmen, they're like, you know what? I worked here for 3 months. Oh, I feel like I've been cheated badly. And they go and just take it. And they don't want to invest in the security version for these laptops. So we're just buying the cheap end one.
Right.
And so the employee just got a free laptop. So to where it's a Pi, it's like, okay, look, you lost $100. They don't probably even know what a Pi is, so they're probably not even going to steal it.
Right.
So almost got to it, didn't happen. But the nice part was our company boss decided, like, all right, everyone in the IT department gets a Raspberry Pi to develop on.
Yeah, no, every time a new Pi comes out, I grab one. I still have a Pi 400 that I bought just for the cloud gaming server as a thin client. That's still in box because I haven't had anything to do with it yet. But I just got a new CNC machine. I just got a 3018 SainSmart CNC machine. I'm going to build myself another Octoprint and control that from there because unlike the 3D printer, the CNC's got to go in the garage because, holy crap, have you heard a 10,000 RPM spindle cutting aluminum? I have. That was my life for like a year and a half.
Yeah. But I'm super happy that they're going to be able to continue developing stuff, and the microchip technology base is just growing faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
And the big leap that they were able to do with the Raspberry Pi 4 just shows that they're probably going to be able to do something very similar the next couple of models. I'm hoping, anyways, or some nice bigger leaps, better graphics, memory and storage is just shrinking in size and capacity, and power's going down. This is all great stuff for the micro PC area. And if you love, like Jeff, we were earlier saying, tinkering around with cool little individual projects, these boards are just gold nuggets, essentially.
Yeah.
Of fun. I mean, and then I made probably about $500-600 on stupid stuff, just buying a bunch of these and selling them as retro Pis to people in my office, being like, I want a Christmas gift. Like, okay. Hey, look, it's $100 for this, for the whole setup.
He didn't include any ROMs. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, it's like
it was hardware and RetroPie install, and then
here's this. Here's an SD, and here's a controller.
Yep.
You know, it costs you this much. I'll put the base OS on.
You ever tried these? Because these are amazing. The 8-bit DOE controllers.
Yeah, they were because most of the time, most of these people are like, "What's the cheapest?"
Right.
And
so these are $40 a piece, but
exactly, yeah.
Wireless Bluetooth, you can play modern games or old games.
Most of the time,
this is one of my go-tos.
A wired, PlayStation 3 style, that are like $20, and most of the time it's, hey, I just want to show my kids, stuff, or I want to send it to my brother. He loves this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but I make $50, I charge him $50 to put it all together. And I think I did like 5 or 7 of them last year.
Yeah.
And then I think even the year before they did 3 or 4, and they were like, "Whoa, the 4's coming out," and they wanted something more powerful. It's like, well, technically you could stream 4K videos on this one, and it could be a computer for you if you wanted to too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, love the 4, love the Raspberry Pi company in general, even the micro stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah. One thing that I didn't put on the notes, I completely forgot about, but this whole talk of the Raspberry Pi and potential upgrades and things like that reminded me. So I have a Retroid Pocket 2, graciously sent over from Mr. Andrew over in chat. I still play it, and in fact my kids love playing it as well. They get their daily dose of retro on that thing. But there's an upgrade coming out for the Retroid Pocket 2. Now, the Retroid Pocket 2 is not necessarily the most powerful retro machine in the world. It's pretty well designed as far as ergonomics go. It's got an analog stick on your left and a D-pad lower down. It's got a very nice 4x3 screen in the center, 640 by 480 resolution. You've got ABXY buttons, and then you have the much maligned slider analog stick, which isn't really analog. It's like a digital slider that absolutely sucks. But it's got dual trigger buttons, not analog, all digital, but the ergonomics are all good. And it plays very well up into PlayStation, even some PSP games. It falls short of Nintendo 64 and further on. Well, there is an upgrade coming to that console that you can buy for about $50 to $60, which is a PCB replacement from Retroid themselves. It is called the Retroid Pocket. There we go. Retroid Pocket 2.5. It is a PCB replacement. So you open the back of your model, you unplug the ribbon cables, you pull the PCB out, you put a new PCB in, you put it all back together. Apparently, according to Taki over on YouTube, which, by the way, if you like these types of consoles and handheld game systems, go subscribe to Taki. He does a lot of fantastic breakdowns, testing both emulation and Android gameplay. But he claims to have done testing with 130 GameCube games, fully loaded, running at 30 frames per second. So, GameCube in the palm of your hand.
Okay, that is
like sick. You want to play Wind Waker?
That is sick.
On a little 4 or 5 inch console. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an up. Yeah. Oh, I'm a day one investor in that.
That's cool.
So yeah, the board will be between $50 and $60. There's also going to be a second analog stick upgrade, so that maligned slider is going to be replaceable with an analog joystick. They're also looking at adding a touch screen for maybe $10 or $15. And so you need a little bit more skill because you have to separate the screen from the front housing. But you can upgrade your Retroid Pocket 2 to a Retroid Pocket 2.5 and freaking play GameCube games. Like, that's all I've ever wanted in my life.
No, that would be awesome. I mean,
I want Wind Waker in my pocket.
Yeah, no, I mean, even as awesome as the Pi 4,
Shut up,
2 gig
Wii
series,
U. I know you exist. I know you have an HD remaster. That was the only good game you ever put out.
I'm talking about bowling was amazing.
I said Wii U.
Oh, Wii U.
Wii
yes.
U. Sure,
Wii U.
you can also play Breath of the Wild on Wii U.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yeah, technically it was released for the Wii U.
I wonder if you could play Wii U games and you could play Breath of the Wild on this thing.
But yeah, theoretically. I mean, okay, so yeah, I mean, heck, I would throw $100 at this thing just for the.
Yeah,
I'll try it. I'll try it for $100.
The original one I guess cost $90. And basically when this is all done, the new one's going to cost like $90 or $100 if you just want to like buy one. But
I'll do that.
But here's the deal. Me as an existing owner, you can also just buy the PCB for like $60 and upgrade the one that you have. And then you can also add the analog stick and the touch screen if you want to. So yeah, you're end up going to pay essentially the same money to upgrade. But as part of the PCB upgrade, they're including an acrylic housing so you can take your old PCB, put it into a box, and use it as a retro console on your TV.
Oh, nice.
Like it's like, yeah, you can reuse this. It's totally cool. And it's still a great little like retro gamer.
Again, that's why I love these little things. I for one of my builds is I started a project and I never finished it, but I always wanted to build. You remember those giant? You probably saw it on like Pinterest or something. The giant NES controller as a coffee table.
Mm-hmm.
So I started building one of those and then never finished it. Yeah, and never finished it. But I always wanted to do that where it's essentially you need two players. If no one's ever seen it, it looks like it's just a big coffee table and it's a NES controller.
You know, John, I've always wanted to play NES with you, but like the keyboard in big.
Yeah, we'll dance. But again, if it's not for
what are you guys playing? Dance Dance Revolution? No, Track and Field, NES.
No, that would be fun. Oh, with feet.
Like 4 people know what we're talking about right now.
I know. But
is that the one with Rob? It's so bad.
Yeah, but without these micro PCs, none of this would happen. And honestly, RetroPie, there's a lot of other brands out there. Like I also have an Asus, I feel like a switchboard or something like that. It's not as compatible. It doesn't do as good. Raspberry Pi is just a beast, and I'm so happy with all of this stuff. I mean, anything new they come out with, I always look at it, and I'm always like, I want to buy it because pricing is so good. Even if I can only do like 1 or 2 things with it, it's just such a cool thing for the size and pocketability. So I will definitely, Christmas time, like I'll throw $100 at. I'll throw $150 at something like that if it can get me DS games or GameCube games in my pocket.
Yeah, no, it should be out by the end of the year. So I'm very excited. Like I said, all I've ever wanted is portable GameCube. Like you put those 2 words together. I had a GameCube with the add-on Intex screen that flipped up. So I had the Indigo GameCube with the matching color LCD screen you could play with the 5-inch console. Yeah. No, like portable GameCube has like been a lifelong. Sorry, not lifelong because GameCube came out well into my high school career.
High school, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been something I've always wanted. Like something about a lot of those games. Your Time Splitters 2, Wind Waker, even GoldenEye had a fantastic 2-disc set for the GoldenEye Rogue Agent. There was that game. There was 13, the French comic book one was also on GameCube. That's a fantastic game.
Never watched that. Never had that one. No.
Oh, you gotta play that.
Yeah.
I gotta get you that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember I bought a GameCube. I was a Nintendo guy. All my friends were jumped and went to PlayStation. I was like, no. Well, you guys have it, so I'm gonna go get a Nintendo. You know, and I had the N64, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make the jump to Nintendo. And yeah, honestly, I was so disappointed. Although, you know what, actually, GameCube came out with the Metroid Prime. I really like Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime was great. Yeah,
I really like those. So,
not Star Fox 64, but the Star Fox for GameCube. I don't know if you played that one.
I don't think I did.
It was pretty decent.
Yeah.
A couple of more super chats rolling in. Novella Hub sends over $5 and said, second vote for Craft Computing to drink the Trinity Brewhouse Strawberry Belgian Strong Ale at 12.5%. It is fantastic. You know, I know it's fantastic. I know it's going to be fantastic. I have to keep a certain level of sobriety on Wednesdays because my wife is 8 months pregnant. So
you never know.
Right. So like I'm having the stout and I'm eyeing the second IPA that I have on my table kind of sideways going, I can't open you right now. Like I had kind of planned on it, but here I am going, like it might be water as of 9:30 because that's a really good stout.
Well, that's what I was saying. You could nurse something like that.
Yeah. So. Well, I ain't nursing this one.
We got a little bit more raspberry pine.
We do. Hold on, a couple more super chats.
Sorry, I forgot.
John J, $20. Thank you, John. Not only for the $20, but for the constant stream of beer you send. Did I just do that? Oh, yes, I did. Cool. And then Trippic sent over both I said something that triggered Trippic earlier, so he sent over $2 Kiwi to make me aware of it, although we've since lost the plot on what I said. Trippic says, I was 5 when the GameCube came out. Feel old yet?
Ooh, yes, very old.
Trippic, we established this, was it last week or the week before? Yes, I'm older than you. I understand this. I don't need reminders.
Isn't it? I constantly forget my own age.
I do. There are really only a couple people in the tech tuber space who are older than me. Shocker, I know. And that's Wendell and Jay.
Not by much.
Like hard cap. GameCube is a new gen console, right? Like it just came out like 4 years ago, right? Right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty sure it did. It was revolutionary, and I remember buying it brand new. So yeah, it had 4K capability. Yeah, pretty sure it had 4K capability.
John, it didn't even have HDMI.
No, it had RCA.
No, I got it with component cables.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, okay. No, I went out and bought component cables for mine.
No, I never.
I was at least 480p.
No, I only went and bought component cables for my Wii.
Yeah,
that was the one I was like, okay,
yep.
Okay. Well, at the time too, I had only one of those projector TVs in my bedroom.
Yeah.
So like, it was one of those Samsung. Or no, Mitsubishi projector TVs.
Yeah,
but it was a lower. It was like a 48-inch projector TV. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, I had a Toshiba 4x3 projection TV for a while. It was 53-inch. Great TV. Not really. Like for the time.
For the time and
big screen TV. Remember when big screen TV was a thing?
Oh, God,
was a thing that we said, not just like the size of it, but if it was bigger than a CRT, it was a big screen TV starting at 42-inch. Remember those days, John?
I remember those days, and I remember Yeah, they're bigger than
Remember
your
the one person
refrigerator?
you knew who had a TV that was bigger than 32 inch? And it's like, where did you get your tax return?
Yeah, God, I remember that. It
Mhm.
was. I remember that. Yeah, I think. Well, I had. So at first, I had a 36 CRT TV as my TV. So
Oh,
I still have it.
dude. Oh, you. Ooh.
It's broken, but I still have it.
Oh.
It is at my barn, and it's still there on the entertainment center I made. It's broken; it won't turn on for some reason. But that
Yeah.
thing is so heavy. And then I upgraded to a
John,
big screen.
you don't know heavy until you've lifted a 48-inch CRT.
That's probably true. But
John,
so my first.
I've lifted a couple of them.
I'd like to see either of us do that now.
450 pounds. I'm not even kidding.
I'm not. I agree with it.
Like CRTs are an exponential thing. So it's like 27. Like I could deadlift one of those. 32, maybe on a good day if yesterday wasn't leg day and my back is feeling pretty good. 36, no, that's team lift territory. 48, bring a forklift.
Oh yeah, God. So I think I got a.
Meanwhile, I mounted my 75-inch TV in my living room by myself.
Oh yeah, those things weigh like 20 pounds.
Like 40, but I still hung it on the bracket and wall mounted it by myself.
Yeah. But so I had my first big screen TV. Still had one of those screens with the built-in lines in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the oak, the yellow oak.
No, it was the wood grain cabinet.
Yeah, the wood grain cabinet.
Yeah, with the retro reflective screen.
Yes, exactly.
And so it would take all the lines that are facing all this way, and they would shoot them straight ahead.
Yeah,
because so it's like
if you were to the side of it, you're like, wait, what is that? So you had to be sitting straight.
If you're 6 degrees off angle, this screen is for the people who sit on the main couch.
Yep. And so that was my first big screen TV. I always angled it in my bed. And then my brother Mike got drunk one night and like cracked the screen. And I was like, crap, it's ruined even for straight. So and then I found it was a Mitsubishi, like a 50-inch one too.
Yeah.
And that was my game. And I got the GameCube and everything there. And it was like, I was so proud of it. It was like, this thing's awesome. And yeah, I was still in high school.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. I didn't know any other high schooler with a big screen TV in their bedroom. Nope. You know, I was like, this is awesome.
John, do you want to know the TV I had in my bedroom in high school? I had a 13-inch Emerson VCR combo. 13-inch.
I've had that. So when Steve will talk about his Amiga days, right?
That's where I played pretty much all of my GameCube was on that TV.
So when Steve switched from an Amiga to a PC in the early 90s, he still had the CRT RCA monitor.
Yeah.
From his Amiga. And then I took that and an old VCR I bought from Goodwill, and I drilled a hole through my bedroom wall through into his bedroom wall, put a splitter on his cable that my parents put in his room but not my room because I was like 10.
Yeah.
And split it and put it into the VCR and was able to hook it into his old Amiga monitor.
Oh, I'll one up you there.
Okay.
Oh, you want to hear like youth gone rogue tech wise kind of thing? So my parents were okay with me having a computer in my room, but not necessarily having a TV in my room because TV is of the devil and it will suck your mind out. But with a computer, you're learning. It's interactive. It's educational. It's whatever else.
Yeah. And you're sitting there playing Doom.
Wolfenstein. But yes.
Wolfenstein. But yeah.
So cast your mind back to 1996. 1997 maybe. My parents had they had just bought their first Pentium 2, which was an IBM Aptiva 300 megahertz, And they gave me their old IBM Aptiva, which was a Pentium 166 with MMX.
Okay.
15-inch CRT. And that's it. And so 15-inch monitor, Aptiva, Windows 98, first edition, not second edition, because screw me, right? So my dad at one point had gone and purchased this parallel card thing called a Snappy. Now a Snappy was a parallel port interface. So DB25 plugs into the back of your computer on a printer port that had a composite input. And what it was for was taking still shots from home video. Yeah. And so if you recorded home video on a camcorder, like you had an RCA or a Sony camcorder back then, you could plug the composite output from that into the parallel port, and you could view it at like 12 frames per second.
Yes.
And you could take still shots from your home movies. That's what it was for. Me being the pre-Mythbusters use parts and materials and for ways in which they were never intended, went to Goodwill, bought a VC. And I couldn't have a TV in my room, but I could have a computer, but no internet. But I could also have the phone line connected, so I could also like play StarCraft and things like that with my friends. So I would like dial in and remember when we used to have to call our friends peer to peer to play StarCraft and Warcraft, like Warcraft dial up. Yeah, no, I did that.
Age of Empire.
So I couldn't have a TV in my room, but I had his old Snappy and I had a video camera and whatnot. I was like, yeah, no, I want to like do like video editing and whatnot. Like that'd be cool. And so he gave me the Snappy and the install discs and everything else because he wasn't using it, because who the heck wants to take still photos from a home video camera? So I went down to Goodwill and I bought an old VCR, like the smallest one that I could find in my Goodwill, which was basically just barely wider than a VHS cassette. But it had a cable tuner built into it. And there was a cable jack in my room, which I like ran under the carpet and then snaked up and then hid the VCR behind my desk. And then from the VCR, I had RCA for audio outputs going up to my speakers. And so I watched TV in like 1997 at 12 frames per second over parallel.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is bad. That is bad.
And when my dad hears this, he's going to go, of course he did.
Yeah.
Because I asked him for weeks to please install the drivers for Snappy. And he didn't, and I finally just got them myself and installed it. But he didn't know that I also went to Goodwill by myself and bought myself a VCR.
Yep. The things we'll do to just watch TV.
Right? All I wanted to do was like watch DS9 in my room. That's all I wanted.
I know half the time I think I just used mine. Surprisingly, I always loved sleeping in. But then it was just Saturday morning cartoons. I was like, oh, I'm 12. I just want to watch Saturday morning cartoons.
Right.
Actually, it was like X-Men and Dragon Ball Z was on WB 32 or something. I was like, yes, Mexican Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
I was like, all right, I got it. And then I would go
Dragon Ball Z Deportes.
Yes. Do you remember when did you move to basically around here?
2003.
Okay.
So pre-2003, I lived in Springfield, Eugene area. And 2003, I moved up to this area.
Okay. Okay. So then I think we're out what the story. But then where your wife worked for a long time.
Yes.
I would constantly go there.
Yeah. And
actually, there's a whole story there too. I had one of like the highest bills ever. At
yes,
that place.
You did.
All because I forgot a VHS and like didn't go back there for like 3 years, and the system just kept rolling with it.
Yeah.
And then I think my brother went in one day, one of my brothers, and was like, "Hey, I want to rent a movie." And they're like, "Oh, you're part of that family. You're going to have to now pay his account because it's too high."
Yeah. No. So John is referring to a video rental place that was an independent video rental, had only 2 locations, one in one city and one in another. And the one location that John is referring to also had 2 other video rental places like within eyesight. There was a Hollywood Video and there was a Blockbuster Video across the street. Most people use the homegrown, two chain video rental place.
It's great.
Support the local guys, kind of thing. I know the owner; he's a great guy. But when I was in college, I went and I rented a bunch of games from Hollywood Video, mainly. And then I heard they were like maybe going out of business, and so I rented like 10 GameCube games from them at a time. And they're like, are you really going to go through like 10 games in 3 days? And I went, yeah, no, I'm fine. I'd be more concerned with your own bottom line. And so I rented the games, and then they announced that they were closing all locations like effective immediately. And so I just kept them. And then I was watching Blockbuster stock, and I did the same thing with Blockbuster across the street. I was like, I'm going to time this for when they file Chapter 11, and then I'm just like not going to turn the games in. So I got like 50 free games between the 2.
I should have done that.
I was in college when both of them went belly up, so that was a lot of fun. And great when all you have is a GameCube and an Xbox, and your PC is a single core Celeron.
Yeah. Speaking of a little bit of upgrades to upgrading things.
Yes.
We were talking about Raspberry Pis earlier, and because Raspberry Pis are awesome for nostalgia stuff too, so they do many, many other things too. But the Raspberry Pi 4 is getting a little bit of an upgrade.
Yes. So the Raspberry Pi 4 was introduced, gosh, I want to say 3 years ago at this point. It's been a little while.
2-3 years ago.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 years. And it is basically the upper echelon of silicon as far as ARM processing goes. Quad core, base clock of 1.5, can easily overclock to about 2 gigahertz. But a great little system on chip. However, there's a more recent Broadcom chip that has been being circulated with the Raspberry Pi 400, which is the all-in-one keyboard, computer, plug in a mouse and a monitor, and you're good to go kind of thing. That one has actually a different system on chip than the Raspberry Pi 4, even though they share the same architecture.
Everything.
Sorry, Hiccup Jeff is coming. It was a good stout. They share essentially the same architecture, but the Raspberry Pi 400 does have a different CPU SoC on board than the Raspberry Pi 4. That is until today. The Raspberry Pi 4 8GB model has gotten a little bit of a sneaky update in that it is now sharing the CPU with the Pi 400. Now, while they still share the same base frequency of 1.5 gigahertz, the overclock limit is actually significantly higher. So before, if you got 2 gigahertz on a Pi 4, you were doing pretty good for yourself. Yeah. 2.3 is actually pretty achievable on a Pi 400, especially now on a Pi 4 if you were to add some kind of an active cooling solution to it, or even just a large passive cooling solution to it. So if you've been kind of like on the fence about whether or not to get a Pi 400 or a Pi 4 or something like that, honestly, a brand new Pi 4 8GB, you're looking pretty good if you're wanting like a desktop replacement or streaming PC, a la like my game stream server, cloud gaming server. Like Pi 400, freaking amazing game client.
Yeah. No, those again. What we're talking about, these things are just little gold nuggets. And they're just getting better.
Yeah.
Sorry, burp drones come on. Yeah, if you can overclock, because I think the 4 1.8 overclocking was considered like, okay, this is pretty much where you want to keep it
Much
at.
standard, 2 gigahertz if you had a cooling solution.
A really good cooling system,
Right.
And you're going to hear that fan too go spinning.
Actually, no. I have one of the dual heat pipe. It looks like a Cooler Master 212.
Oh, well, I was talking about just like passive heat.
Yeah. If you have some cooling solution, 2 gigahertz is pretty achievable.
That cheap aluminum heat sink and then a fan above in your case, you're going to hear that fan spin type of thing. If you overclock it to 2, even 1.8, you're still probably going to hear it quite well. But if you're, able to overclock it to, 2.2, 2.4 even, like Jeff was saying, you basically have a nice little easy laptop replacement.
That's a 4-core, 4-thread ARM processor that will run Windows 11, Ubuntu Mate, or Raspberry OS, and be a pretty competent daily driver PC as far as like daily web browsing, YouTube viewing, etc.
These are going to be fantastic, especially with the ARM allowance for Windows 11.
Right.
Of stuff like this to bring in more computer-friendly micro PC stuff to homes. It's smart technology, and like Jeff was saying, for his lights and audios, stuff like this is going to help him or other people integrate it into their homes and do really, really cool things. It's just going to be fun. It's just, if you are even somewhat of a tech nerd, these things are so much fun. And a 2.2 gigahertz processor, 4-thread, it's just going to be mind-blowing for the price that you're getting it. There's a little work. It's not just plug and play. You can buy the plug and play version, like the keyboard version that we were talking about. That's currently out now. I forget.
Pi 400.
Pi 400. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're paying. I think those are what, $199.
No, it's like $90.
Is it $90?
Like, it's totally reasonable.
Isn't that because that's what the keyboard, and then you just plug your stuff into it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So really right there, you're talking, you have your keyboard, you got to go buy a mouse. It's a cheap mouse. You can go buy one for $10, $5.
Like starter kits with power supplies and HDMI cables and other things will run you about $150. As far as the keyboard itself, it's about $100, between $90 and $100.
And so how many kids, mother-in-laws, mothers, grandparents, whatever, are always like, I just want to see pictures of my grandkids.
I want to get onto Facebook. And not get ads or viruses, which good freaking luck. I need to check my email, and I get onto my church message board.
Church message, and I need to order something on Amazon.
Right.
That's it. That's all they do.
They don't need anything more than an iPad, an Android, like a Galaxy 9 tablet, or an Android or Raspberry Pi 400. Exactly.
And you give them this, and they're going to like the fact that it's nice and compact, and you can I don't know. It's just, to me, I love the idea. The possibilities are just like awesome. I've even always wanted to, because I've talked to you about this for a long time, even just been like, I want to take a Raspberry Pi and make a digital tap display list for my kegerator.
Yeah.
And a Raspberry Pi is perfect for that. I hollow out my refrigerator door and I put an LCD screen inside of it, and then I put some weights on my keg, and it'll measure the depth or the weight of it. I say, here's the starting weight, and then this is what a liquid weighs, an ounce. And you go from there. Raspberry Pis are fantastic for stuff like that. If you look at any of half of the Kickstarter stuff that's tech, it's probably Raspberry Pi based. So, but and then speaking of kind of funny news, little Kickstarters or interesting things. If you are, and we were also talking about video games in your pocket.
Yeah.
You know what? Why your pocket? Why not your keychain, Jeff? Let's just do it on your keychain.
We called them Tamagotchis back in my day.
There were Tamagotchis. There were.
By the way, I predate the Pokemon craze.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that.
Because first there was the virtual pet, and then it was Tamagotchi.
That's what I was thinking, the virtual pet.
Then it was Tamagotchi kind of took the world by storm, and then later on it was like, oh, you can get Pokemon in your pocket now, like on your keychain. Like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, no. So there's a new Raspberry Pi micro project that powers a Game Boy that plays Tetris.
That's for ants
and bees, apparently.
And bees.
Yeah.
It's a Game Boy for ants. It needs to be at least 3 times bigger.
Yeah. So yeah. It's got a battery and a USB-C port and a screen that's like this big, and that's it. But the buttons do work, and it does play Tetris.
Yeah, it's 2 megabits of storage, so it has enough to add additional games.
Which, by the way, is 256 kilobytes, if you need that translated.
The resolution is
72 by 40. 1 pixel equals 1 block in Tetris.
Awesome. So, yeah. Shipping starts early 2022.
Yeah, no, this is actually going to be a shipping product. That's the best part of this.
I know. I saw that. I was like, okay, we got nothing else. This is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you never know. But again, innovation, stupid stuff. Honestly, if this was $19,
that's what we're all about here at Craft Computer.
Yeah, if this was $19, I would probably buy it. I would buy it.
I can't say I wouldn't, because I love Tetris and I love weird, obscure product like this.
Yeah,
I totally do.
Yeah, I would totally have this. And I'm gonna find that one time I forgot my cell phone and I had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, I got my keys.
All right, a couple more super chats to look back at. First up, the Net Guy, which, by the way, check out his YouTube channel. He's cranking out some pretty great stuff lately. $20.21. I'm assuming to correspond with the year, but he says, congrats, Mr. and Mrs. Kraft, on the upcoming capacity upgrade. I think that's more of a RAM sync than a capacity upgrade, but I appreciate the sentiment. Still collecting change from the couch cushions for the Pickle Beer Challenge.
You don't need to do that.
Super Chat, what's it up to now? The Super Chat is up to $113, but my price is significantly higher for a pickle beer. John,
didn't I sneak one in for you?
I have one in my possession. That's about all I can say.
I did give your dogs a beer too. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see the dog beer. I do appreciate that one. Much
See?
more than the pickle beer. John J wants to reminisce about being old. He says, I hear you. I had a Voodoo 3500 to get TV to my room.
I remember those.
Yeah, no, I had that. Somewhere also in high school, I had an MX440 with a composite output. And so I actually put a gaming PC on our family TV as well. So I had a gaming PC on our 27-inch, I believe it was a Toshiba. Of course it was a CRT, John. There was nothing else.
Could have been a big screen projector.
Not in my family.
We had a 27-inch, I think it was a 32-inch.
Yeah.
For the longest time, but it had that fake wood paneling, that vinyl paneling on the side. Oh, it was sexy.
Yeah.
I think, you know what's funny is my nephew brought this up. He sent me a meme or a GIF, not a GIF, but a GIF of
words. John, you're old enough to know better.
Yes, that's how I said it correctly. The Michael Jordan versus the Blazers playoff game where Michael Jordan, kind of does the
yeah.
And I texted back like, I'm old enough to remember that game.
Yeah, to have watched it.
Yeah, I watched that game. I even remember what I had for dinner. We had Pizza Hut that day. My family was all for the Blazers, and I was the only one for the Bulls. Although, granted, I was like, 5 or 6. But
Right. Yeah, it was early.
It was early, but I do have memories of that game.
Yeah. Andrew sends over another $5. Babylon 5 reboot development on the CW. Ooh, I am... Here's what I can say. Is the Star Trek knockoff being on the knockoff broadcast station, like, there couldn't be a better match ever.
So, Babylon, because I posted this on our Discord, so you would know this if you were on our Discord. So join the Discord because it's awesome. We talk about this stuff. There's a lot of other stuff we don't really talk about on this show that is talked about in the Discord. There's entertainment, there's pop culture, there's the beer food reviews, there's all the big tech stuff, there's tech trade, car stuff is talked about. Photo, camera work is talked about. Seller cartography is talked about. Everything you probably want to talk about is in that Discord. And it's really only just $1 a month. More is always appreciated, but $1 a month gets you access to probably, I will guarantee you, at least top 3 Discord you will probably ever join in your life. That's how great it is there. But I will give Babylon 5, I thought, had the best graphics at the time and makeup for a sci-fi show.
Ooh.
Makeup, I thought, was above DS9.
I have a hard time arguing that. I really do. I mean, you have the staple characters in Quark and Rom and Nog and Odo and later on Worf. Like, it is hard. It is hard to argue that. But at the same time, Babylon 5 had so many different characters. Like, they had more than like 2 special guests playing a Vulcan. Or more than Jeffrey Combs as a Vorta. Like yes, DS9
has a lot of background characters.
No, here's what I'll say. Okay. I think DS9 overall, for their primary characters, had better makeup. But so if you're looking at like the prominent characters, if you're looking at Worf, if you're looking at Odo, if you're looking at Quark, if you're looking at Weyoun, if you're looking at Damar, Gul Dukat, I think the level of makeup was better overall, but there was a lower diversity of good makeup on DS9 than there was on Babylon 5. Because Babylon 5, every character you came into contact with had some form of makeup alteration, abnormality, alien feature. And it was more than just pointy ears or a nose ridge.
Exactly. It was like,
there's a lot of Bajorans on DS9, but I can do that with like hot glue.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's a lot of bald caps, wigs, makeup, big, sculpture. They even had, I forget what that one alien race.
The frilly dude? Yeah.
There's the frilly dude, but there was the one that had the organic skin chips. He almost looked like a robot, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
There was a lot of those guys. And I think now Odo was really the only, graphic artist, 3D rendering in DS9.
Odo was only 3D rendered during the shapeshifting.
Yeah, exactly. And to where, though, in Babylon 5, they had a whole species, and then eventually they got one of their main ships to be all organic, and those all were
Voyager
3D rendered.
Voyager species 8472 was fully 3D rendered.
Yes, but Babylon 5 was still before Voyager.
Yes, you're correct.
And so I'm not talking Voyager because Voyager was also, that was UPN. Oh my gosh, that was familiar.
Speaking of knockoff networks.
Yeah, God. They just threw. But and then also to their ship was or space station, Babylon 5 itself, was a 3D model.
Stay tuned for Star Trek Voyager after Moesha. Who remembers that shit?
I do remember Moesha. I didn't watch it, but I do remember it. But even the space station itself was 3D rendered versus DS9, which was a model.
Yes.
So I think there was, but then if you look at the interior, oh my gosh, the sets were so dated.
Yes.
So dated.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah. I will say, I think the overall win for makeup department goes to Babylon 5 because of the sheer numbers of alien races that they had in every single episode that weren't just pointy-eared or ridge-nosed.
Yeah.
With a Bajoran earring on it and call it a day. I will say, as far as like expertise makeup, I will say as like, dressing up Gul Dukat for 1/3 of the episodes, as well as Wei-Yun and all the other, like, I think overall DS9 had more talent, but not the same throughput. Like, is everyone following me there? Like, yeah, I respect both beyond all measure. Like, it's something I could never dream of doing. But yeah, that's my feeling. Is I feel the top level was higher on DS9, but it also went lower than Babylon 5's bell curve, if that's fair.
Oh yeah.
Harley sends over $5. All the fun I missed being an adult. Yeah, you youngins. Novella Hub, $5. Did you ever drink the bent paddle barrel aged double shot double black bomber I sent you? I think I did, and I think it's been a little while because I don't have a lot of bombers left. I drank a lot of them over the spring. Yeah, I would need to check, but I don't think I have that one anymore. It may be on the bottom shelf in my fridge. It may be right there.
And again, these names will never be heard in the domestic beer.
Right.
Double barrel aged, double anything, right. You'll never hear that.
Trippic send over $5 Thank you, Trippic. Deep Space Nine reboot when? I've been waiting 20 years on a movie. Like, I'll take a movie. I don't even want a full reboot.
Yeah. I mean, they easily could do a reboot as Worf.
Captain Worf has been pitched.
Captain Worf as being the head of DS9.
Yeah.
I could watch that.
Yeah, after the Dominion War, I could totally see Sisko being promoted to Admiral, despite his,
Well, he's gone. He's gone.
Right.
He's a spirit now.
No, it's true. Yeah, no, I forgot.
So
he's a god.
The Bajoran. So what we could do, we could even go into a whole, because Worf became the representative.
He was the ambassador to Kronos.
Ambassador of Kronos. We could even go into like kind of between Picard and Voyager, and being like the Bajorans are backing out of the Federation, and so they have to send Worf to renegotiate or something along that line.
Right. Or, Bajor signed a treaty with Romulus, and you're like, although Romulus doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, true.
Sorry,
it all depends on the timeline. All depends on the timeline you go with.
That's right. Are we in True Kelvin? Are we pre-Q? Are we post-Q? Are we?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Because season 2 Picard is wiping that all off the map.
Even better. It is post this. It is post the blow up, and a lot of the Romulans have moved to Bajor, and they need a stronger military presence. So they recruit Worf
as chief of DS9, to keep watch over Bajor. So Bajor is no longer part of the Federation. They have broken away, and they're now part of the Romulan Empire as like a greater Romulan homeworld.
Yes.
Oh.
See, there's an idea.
Oh.
And then 2 years from now, that's
Star Trek Outskirts.
Yes, and 2 years from now, that's going to be on Paramount Plus. We're like, we flipping came up with that idea on episode 203 of Talking Heads. We have proof of this. We know one of you guys were watching.
So if any Paramount executives are watching the show, like, call me. I've got lots of ideas.
Oh yeah, we got lots of ideas. Especially after
fully fleshed out stories.
Yeah.
Unlike Enterprise and Discovery.
Telling you, you got to watch at least past season two. Past season two, Enterprise is good. Past season two, Enterprise is good. Last season or last couple episodes are horrible. Season 3 of Discovery is the only good one. I'll give
John, but John, how good?
Season 3, I'm going to say this. Season 3 of Discovery is better than season 1 of Voyager.
Okay. Let's just say that like the lowest rated ever season of Star Trek was like a 6.8.
Well,
except for Discovery, which was like a 4.5 and a 5.2.
Could you be hearing me the whole entire time?
Yeah.
My mic was like all the way over.
No, you've been fine. At least in my ear.
Okay. My mic has been like...
It just fell down again.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're on that mic because you're not... No, that's not the mic you're picking up on. You're on your overheads.
Well, whatever.
You're totally on your overheads because...
whatever. Yeah, like, if you're not hearing that...
Yeah, no, weird. There was nothing.
Okay, well, whatever. All right. Weird. Because I tested it beforehand, and I was trying to make sure it was this mic. Whatever. Who cares? Anyway, so the 6.8.
Yeah. Is that what season 3 scored? Was it 6.8?
No. I wouldn't give it that. Season 3, it's 7.2, 7.3. Like, you do kind of have to understand, like, watch the last episode of season 2 to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Of Discovery, to understand kind of what's going on. But then after that, they basically just throw away the story of season 1 and season 2. So they start fresh, which is great because like that's what you want. You want them to start fresh. And they travel so far into the future that now it's a brand new story. And you have essentially these people, these Federation people that are around the time of, Christopher Pike, early Kirk, the original Spock. And and they're blasted to the future like 200 years past season of Picard.
Yeah.
Oh.
Star Trek TV shows ranked by the tomato meter on RottenTomatoes.com.
This is season. These are shows though, not
these are overarching shows. These are the entire shows, not season by season. Star Trek Enterprise lowest rated at 55%.
Okay.
Do you want to guess number 2?
Obviously, Voyager. No. What?
Hold on. No, hold on. So Lower Decks actually has an 83%, which puts it actually fairly far ahead. I think it's because they only have one season so far. Voyager got a 76%. The original Star Trek has an 80.
No.
Discovery has an 84.
No.
Picard has an 87. Next Generation, 91.
Oh, don't you flipping.
Now, they're tied at 91. But
that's a tie.
Yeah.
That's a tie.
But DS9 is number 1.
No, I'm just saying. That's a tie.
According to RottenTomato.com, DS9 is best Star Trek.
No.
John, you cannot argue with statistics.
Hang on. No, it's alphabetical. They just went alphabetical when it was a tie.
No.
That's all they did.
Okay. Here you go. Ready?
Oh, you're just finding places to find the...
No.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull up, because if you click on them, they go season by season.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, season 1 of TNG got an 88%. Season 2 was 50%, and I fully agree with both of those.
I'd have to... Okay. Riker does have his beard, though.
The next 5 seasons, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Okay. I totally agree with those.
Yeah.
Let me go back. DS9, Season 1, 81%. No, hold on. Still lower than TNG. Remember, TNG was 88. Okay. I can't disagree, but it's hard to argue that either. Like, I think episode 1 of DS9 was so much stronger than episode 1. Yeah, Encounter at Farpoint versus, I can get my hands dirty as a Starfleet captain. Like
you have 88, and they're still riding on the coattails. Well, Gene Roddenberry was still in charge,
right?
And they're still trying to be original,
right?
Because all of season 1 is still original Trek.
Yeah. Now the difference here is season 2, 100%, 100%, 100%. Season 6 gets a 57, and then season 7 gets 100% again. And so,
no. Well, I almost wonder if season 6 just gets that for the finale of killing Dax. Season 7 is actually should be the 57.
Season 7, I would say, should be in the 80s, maybe even 70s.
Yeah.
Season 6 needs to be 100. There's no reason for it not to, except for killing Jadzia at the end.
Yeah, except for killing Jadzia, there's really no downside to that whole season.
Right. Because 4, 5, 6 are the Dominion War. That is the loss and retaking of Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
that is,
and even 3, I believe, is the Klingon War.
Yeah, so, Season 3 is the Klingon War. It's the introduction of all that stuff. Season 3 is also 2. When they get the Defiant. They're going through the wormhole a lot more than just like runabouts.
See, here's the problem with season 2 at 100%. That's all still Bajoran issues stuff, and they're still doing character development.
Yeah, but you also have Inquisitor Kira. Like, can you argue with that?
It's a 1 episode.
It's a 2-parter.
Oh, whatever.
It's a 2-parter.
But still, like, I think the season finale of season 2 was like, who's going to be the Bajoran president?
Yeah.
And I was like, who cares? That's a stupid finale. There was too much political stuff and not war stuff.
Yeah.
And that's an unbiased season 2.
Yeah.
But I will season 6 should be 100%. Season 8 should be rated differently. Obviously, Jeff, you put too many bots into Rotten Tomatoes to skew this. I know your gaming server is probably working around the clock.
I'm just saying, I got 64 cores of voting prowess.
Exactly. So that's the problem. I only got this little i7 on my laptop working, punching numbers in, not much.
Yep.
And that's the problem.
Yep.
I need more Raspberry Pis.
Therein lies the issue. Have you seen my desktop background lately, by the way?
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Beautiful ship. It's a nice little ship. It's a nice little ship.
Little.
And a great place to end it.
I think that's a great place to end. Anyway, this has been episode 203 of Talking Heads, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time, right here on Craft Computing. Make sure to like this video, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Follow John over at Haps and Brews if you like the beer content on this channel and want to see some more. If you like the content you see on this channel and want to help support me on what I do, consider joining the Patreon or Float Plane. Links are both down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server, where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and take part in the awesome and ever-growing community that hangs out over there, and it really is the best place outside of YouTube. Not that YouTube is great. It's just where I happen to post right now. John, anything else? Any plugs you got? Any good of the order?
I mean, yeah. Just Hops and Brews everywhere else: Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Check it out if you like the beer content. Every now and then, I do a little jab on Jeff on Twitter. So follow both of us on Twitter.
Follow me at Craft Computing if you want to find out why I hate FedEx so much right now. Although they're not the only shipping company I hate, they're just the one I hate right now. And
hey, quick shout out all of our awesome mods on the Discord and on the YouTube channel. Those guys are flipping awesome.
Yeah,
some of the best mods you could ever have.
Literally rock stars. Skull, Rev, Claw. Let's see, we got Funk, we got ID Prom. Yeah. You guys are freaking awesome. You work tirelessly for literally nothing. Like, you actually pay to be my mods, and that's amazing.
Yep.
I still try to make it worth your while, but end of the day, you're losing money in this endeavor, and I love you for it. So I just want to let you guys know I appreciate you and I recognize you. Anyway, that's all we have for episode 203 of Talking Heads here on Craft Computing. Make sure to tune in next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. And